Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Adigo Akwede of Rashid, as you know. So today we'll be talking about HTML. And HTML, we all know, means hypertext markup language, and it is used to create web pages and the structure of a website, how a website will be structured, how it's going to be arranged, and some of the elements that will be added. So that is what HTML is used for on the website. And today we'll be using Visual Studio Code as our IDE. That is what I mean by IDE. It's called editor. Can also be referred as editor. Editor is where you write your codes and preview on your browser to see what you are writing or something like that. So what we are going to do now is we are going to go direct to Visual Studio Code. So before we even go to Visual Studio Code, let us create a folder. That's why I always like to start my own project. Any new project you want to create, it's good to just create a folder for another project. So now I'll create our project folder right now. So we're going to right click and go to folder. So we can name it anything we like. Probably I'll name my own web lesson. So web lesson. Then this folder will now have to drag it inside Visual Studio Code. So we now drag and drag inside here. Don't save, I don't need it, so I don't save that. So it's going to give us a blank page just like this. So all you just have to do is just close this, get started. That is a welcome page. You close it, and these are folder here. Now on this our folder, we are going to write on this is our editor where we are going to be writing our code, and our browser I'm going to be using Mozilla Firefox. I prefer using Mozilla Firefox, and you later know the reason why I prefer Mozilla Firefox in the future as you continue watching this video one after the other. So like these are folder name. Our folder name is web lesson. However, if you have not installed the live server extension and you want to install it, you come here and click on extension, then you click, then you type live server, and here it is. You are going to activate it, and if you are going back to the files we are talking about, you click here to explorer, and we are back here. We can close it because we don't need that folder. I just did that for the purpose of people who are yet to install the live server, so that to make our work more faster and something like that. So now we want to create our first file. If you check here now, we have like three icons here. The first icon, you can see new file, is used to create a new file. Probably you want to create a new document, a new HTML document, CSS, JavaScript, anything that you are writing the code. Then this one is to create a new folder. If I want to create a new folder inside our folder, this is what I'm going to create. You are going to understand it more when we get where we are as we are progressing on this lesson. So this one is for refreshing the explorer. Probably you have done some kind of task here, and probably it's not showing up, and you want to be showing up or not. It's just like refreshing on system. So you can just click on this, refresh, and it's going to refresh your page. What is not showing before probably show. This is collapse. If you don't want this particular bar, you can click on the collapse. This bar will disappear, and if you want it back, you can insert it back. So now let us swing directly to our distance. So this class is introduction to HTML. So we are going to be introducing ourselves to the environment of HTML and HTML and how HTML works and how it's being read on what is it called, on browser. Please don't mind the noise at the background. I had to hunch in to do this tutorial because there was no light here now. So now the first thing we are going to do is to click on this our new file and create an HTML file called index.html. So please note that your HTML file can be any name, but index is more like the 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 default file. Okay, let's say the default, like it's the file that um your 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 machine is going to load first. So your home page of your website will be index.html. That's why I'm using this as a practical or whatever. So if we want to start our HTML document, we need to bring out exclamation symbol, and we hit enter. So it's going to generate some codes that I'm going to explain one after the other. So after the exclamation code, we hit enter. So it's going to bring out this code. If you don't want to do it this way, you can also still do it something like this. Just write HTML. You can see you now select this HTML file. When you click on it, it's still the same thing. So the first one is just like a shortcut, like I prefer it to the other one, so that you not be surprised when we are doing it. So this particular tag, an HTML, all this code, most of the time all of them are called tag. They are called HTML tag. So this first tag is declaration. It's telling you that you are writing an HTML5 document. HTML4 has its own kind of declaration and some others. So this one is an HTML tag. It's telling us that we are writing an HTML. Please note that there's something called, I will explain that later anyways. So this is an HTML tag. It's telling us the language is English, that is the lang, that is the attributes lang, and English is en, that is easy. So on our header part, we have some meta tag. These meta tag are more like the tag that give more information about a particular thing. It's mostly used most of the time for search engine optimization. But we get to there, we'll understand more about meta tag. So this one, the Apache, chasset and all those stuff, and these, you actually don't need to know more about all these things right now. Just use them as it is right now. So in future we still have to talk about most of all this stuff. For now, you don't need to worry yourself about them. So what we'll be talking about now is before we even go there, so these are the section of HTML. We have the header part and we have the body tag. So this is the header part. Any code that is going to be on your website but is not going to be physically shown, like it's going to be physically shown on your web page, most of those code are usually be at inside this edit tag. So you can see this is the head and it ended here, and the body tag, inside this body tag, all the code that will show on your web page is going to be in between this body tag right here. So this HTML will just be at the last most of the time. And now before we start, let me explain the concept of HTML tag rather. So HTML is as we call it, hypertext markup language, is a markup language that is used to do some add different things into your website. So I will write, there's something called starting tag, or you call it start tag, the content, and the ending tag. For instance, wherever tag, most of the tag you are writing on the HTML must start somewhere and must end somewhere. Every tag you are writing in HTML is an effect. So you have to tell the browser that this effect I want to add, it should start here and it's going to end here. If you are not putting an ending tag into your browser, the browser is going to interpret it that every document, every element you have in your page want to have that particular effect. So that's why it's necessary. So let me explain it in details. For instance, the tag for bold in HTML is B. So the starting tag for B is this, and the ending tag is this. This is the starting tag and this is the ending tag. Any effect that you want will be in between this particular tag. For instance, I want to write my name Acotech, and I write and I save. Once I save, let's just try to reload. You right click here and open live server. So it's going to open our page, and this is our page right here, and you can see my Acotech is bold. And the difference between all these things is the difference between starting tag and the content and the ending tag is, if you can see, there's a slash here. For instance, if I want to bold only ACO and I don't want the tech to bold, so I'm going to start my bold here and I'm going to end it here. Let me cut it and put it right here. So you can see that only ACO is between this bold. It's between this bold between this bold tag. So you are telling the browser that only this ACO should be bold. Anything that is in between a tag is where the effect is going to affect. For instance, let's save and let's load our page. You can see only this ACO was bold and this tech was not bold. You are telling the browser that okay, oh, I want the arrow to bold and I don't want this place to bold. So that is the effect of the ending tag. Let's assume we did not even put any ending tag here and we just save. Let's see the effect. Everything is going to bold. Why? Because you just add an effect without no direction. You are not telling the browser that okay, oh, this is where I want the browser, this is where I want the effect to you declare where you want the effect to start from, but you didn't declare where the effect will end up. So if you have more content on this page, everything is going to be bold because you did not add an ending tag, and that's how HTML works. So that's how HTML works. So you need to be mindful of starting and ending tag. I hope you understand the concept of starting and ending tag now. So if you don't get it too much, you can probably search Google and start for starting tag and ending tag. So that is for this thing. So all your code will be in between this thing. Now let me explain this particular title before we go. So this particular title is going to be the title, the name of the title of your particular page. For instance, maybe I want to change the title to, let me just delete. It is called the title tag. Anything they call tag for you, most of it will have starting and ending tag. So the title tag code is title, just title, but it's going to end itself. Sorry, it's not too good to write code in caps like this. So you can just, maybe I want to change it to home, and I click on save. So when I go back to the browser, I can see home here. Can you see my cursor? That is home. Whatever I change it to, maybe I want to say welcome to my website, to my website, and then probably delete this, and I click on save and go back. You can see welcome to my website is here. So anything that you want to be at the title of your website is what is going to be in between this title tag. So that is the title of your website. So on the next video, we are going to talk about text formatting. This is just one of the text formatting, which is bold. We have text formatting for italics, underline, lots more of them. So we'll be talking about them on the next video. Thank you for staying through.